Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Next Step live stream presented by Amplify the Movement. I'm Ash Saunders, one of the co-founders of Amplify the Movement.
Hey y'all, I'm EJ Joseph, and I'm also a founding member of Amplify the Movement, and we're so excited to show you what we've been cooking up. 6 feet bump.
Yes, we have some fantastic panels, some extraordinary talent, and some amazing businesses to showcase to you all.
Amplify the Movement is a nonprofit organization that believes in amplifying the voice of Black people. When I say Black people, I mean cis, I mean trans, I mean young, I mean old and disabled, and everything in between. Intersectionality is key to our overall mission statement. It is so important that we uplift the most marginalized groups in our community. Liberation for some is liberation for none. When we say all voices, we mean all voices.
It's important to us that we not only talk about the change that we're working towards, but also actively participate in making that change. With that in mind, we have dedicated this live stream to bring awareness and to help raise funds for the nonprofit organization Film to Future.
So Film to Future creates equitable opportunities for the underserved and low-income youth of LA through professional level classes in filmmaking, content creation, and serves as a direct pipeline to successful placements in college, paid internships, and careers. Please go to ampthemovement.com where you'll find our donation page, and any donation made today through August 30th will be split between Amplify the Movement and Film to Future.
Throughout this live stream event, we will be amplifying different Black creators in the LA area. Please show them some love by sharing the live stream, their social media pages, and don't forget to tip your talent.
Tip them.
That part. You can find the links to tip your talent directly below.
To kick that off, I want to introduce you to my homie, Kobe, a Black, indigenous, trans-masculine, gender-fluid being who is passionate about singing, songwriting, and metaphysics. They have always turned to music to release their deepest emotions and self-heal. Their intention behind all that is to encourage and motivate introspection and healing in others so that they may find their most authentic truths and live them proudly.
So, let's go get him, EJ.
Hey, Kobe, you ready?
Let's start the show.
Hi. So this song is called Freebird, and it was originally written about somebody I fell in love with a few years back, but over time I realized that I was actually singing to the pieces of myself that I'd lost during my childhood, and this person was mirroring those pieces back to me. And there's a part in the song where I say girl, and as a gender fluid person, I changed it the second time around to say boy. So I'm speaking to all of the pieces of myself that have yet to come back to me. In my journey with testosterone, I have been reintroduced to pieces of both my divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And I do feel like there's even more specificity that's yet to come in for me. So this is for myself and for all of you that are doing this internal work and this journey with yourself to allow for everything that might come forward. I've seen you around many times before, but I never knew of the beauty that's inside of you. Oh, you're clearly a sight to see, a wild little recipe, but I'd never think to find that you would get my mind. And just like that, you're suddenly everything. And just like that, you fly away from me. Oh, free bird, oh, free bird, oh, oh. Maybe it's the fro, I don't know, but you flow, girl. Free bird, oh, free bird. You capture me, enlighten me, and set me free. Free bird. Hey, yeah. Now when I look back back to the times before I would get a fight, but never would I speak my mind. Oh, I should have just said hello. Could have had more time to know your lovely heart and mine, where I lose track of time. And just like that, you're suddenly everything. And just like that, you fly away from me. Oh, free bird, oh, free bird, oh. Maybe it's the fro, I don't know, but you flow, boy. Free bird, oh, free bird. You capture me, enlighten me, and set me free. Free bird. Free bird, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, you fly away, you fly away, you fly away, you fly away, fly away, fly back to me, fly back to me, fly back to me, fly back to me, fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away, fly back to me, fly back to me, fly back to me, fly back to. Oh, ooh, do 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 da 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 do 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 da do 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 Fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away. Fly back to me, fly back to me, fly back to me, fly back to me. Oh. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Amplify the Movement's first panel discussion, Am I Enough? Here we will explore how race, sexual orientation, and gender identity affects one's ability to navigate the entertainment industry as a creative. I am joined by actor, producer, presenter, Tiffany Smith, actor, producer, activist, and trans health advocate, Blossom C. Brown, actor, writer, activist, Tonatu, actor, writer, activist, creative, Sarah Montez, actor and content creator, Richard Nevels, and EJ, entertainer and co-founder of Amplify the Movement. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited to dive right into this topic. As we all know, in dealing with this industry, there's a very limited scope on certain groups of people. Like if you're not a cisgender white man, then it's very little roles they put you into a box and they make you say, well, you can only be this kind of person because you look this way. Or you can only do this because you look that way. Starting off with Tiffany, how has that been navigating this space as a multi-ethnic woman trying to, not be put into the box that Hollywood wants you to be put into? How was it dealing with typecasting early on in your career?
I mean, I think for me, it started because what's crazy is my dad, when he lived in LA, when he was younger, he wanted to be an actor, but he had straight hair. He was a black guy with straight hair. So, people were like, he didn't really fit into the box of being a black actor at the time. He was also a martial artist. So he was in the original Dolomite. And it was like, well, we can't hire you because you don't look like a black man. We want a black man to look on film and TV at the time. So it's crazy kind of how it's come full circle now that I feel like some of that same stuff is coming up now where, yeah, I'm multiracial. My mom technically is white. My dad's black, but I'm Native American. I'm Sicilian, Irish, Spanish, all these things. And so you start trying to go out for acting projects and everybody knows those breakdowns come out. They ask for something specific and you send your photo, your agent manager sends your photo and it's like, well, she doesn't quite look black enough or she doesn't quite look this enough. And I think initially there was a time where a lot of times I get submitted just for like the exotic, sexy, that kind of vibe because I was ethnically ambiguous. And I think the thing that helped me a little bit was starting out being a host because people already saw what my personality was in some ways, that I'm a massive geek. And I definitely don't think I walk into the room and I'm like, hey, I'm that sex bot kind of girl. And it is acting. You can play with different stuff, but it's like everyone does have a natural energy and vibe about them. So I went out for that kind of stuff at the beginning and just wouldn't book it, and realized that I was like, I can't keep getting sent out for this stuff just because of the way that I look and that you want to fit me into this one box. You need to kind of broaden that for me, and you guys need to submit me on stuff where it's like, my personality, I love comic books, video games, all these things, where it's like, how many projects are out there right now where that could be an asset for me? But I've definitely been having a lot of conversations with friends now where it's like, just that term or that phrase of even saying this person's not Black enough, not Latin enough, not whatever. It's like that, I want it so gone from the industry, because it's like, there is no one right, this is what Black is, this is what white is, this is what gay is, this is what straight is. There are different shades in everything. And I was actually listening to this professor, she's at Duke, and she talked about, it's basically like identity fluidity and ethnic fluidity, which I thought was so interesting, because for me growing up, I'm like, I love traveling, and up to this point, it's been an asset. People kind of assume I'm whatever they are, and so you're kind of led into this world, which is awesome. But there's a lot of times where, even with the Black Lives Matter movement, there was definitely a moment for me where I was like, do I speak up? What do I say? Am I allowed to say something? Because I know that there are certain aspects of my life that, I have had privilege because I am lighter skinned, and people maybe don't necessarily immediately assume that I'm Black. So there was this kind of like weird balancing act. And I think that also plays into acting, because it's like, I want to be able to play roles where I feel like I deserve to be there. When I was asked to be a part of this, I was so excited, because I'm like, there needs to be more conversation about, the gray area where so many people in this country really are. Because when it comes down to it, we talk about America being a melting pot, and it's like, there's this weird thing of like, well, but you're supposed to identify as this thing or this thing. And to get roles, sometimes it's like, they want you to identify as just that. And I'm not that. Like, I'm me, I'm multi-ethnic, I'm my mom and my dad. And that story needs to be told too. So I think that we're in a really cool place, even though it's, painful a lot of the times. I think that we're in a position now where like things could really change, and that's exciting.
Absolutely. I think that's what's important. We have to have these conversations, because I think that no gender identity, no sexual orientation, no race, no ethnic background, none of those things are monoliths. None of those things are homogenized. And so it's realizing and recognizing there's nuances in all those stories. And so how has that been for you, Tona, from the queer male perspective, dealing with that and navigating that?
Culturally, I'm Latinx. Race-wise, I'm a hodgepodge of so many different things. European, I'm Native, I have African descent as well. So at this point, I just like to say that I'm human. And I really appreciate like being cast for my talent, being cast for the things that I can develop. But for me, the tricky situation with all of this is that I think I kind of broke into the industry leaning into the queerness aspect of who I am. And I think my first few roles were definitely more on the femme side of it. And I leaned into it because there was a space for it. And I obviously was grateful for the job. But now what I'm finding is interesting is just like how not to just be that one thing. I'm trained. I know how to transform. And that is I'm so much more than just my sexual orientation. And even then I'm like, how do you even know what my sexual preferences are? Do you have a camera on me? Because I don't have an OnlyFans.
Hello?
You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I mean, I take on the responsibility of representing queer characters with as much honesty and as diverse as possible. And every time I do play a new one, I try to show something or showcase an aspect of queerness that people haven't seen. So like Marcos in Vida, I was determined that he had facial hair. If he was going to play femme and he was from Boyle Heights, a city that I grew up in, I was like, he has to have some kind of layer of protection, because he can't have peacock feathers out the entire time. He has to be able to code switch within that gender. But yeah, personally, like as an actor, it used to make me really insecure, because like I can teeter between masculinity and femininity really easy. And a friend of mine just introduced me to a word. I'm gender full. I am gender full. You know what I mean? You're trying to put me in a box, and now, baby, I'm I'm the box. I'm the whole damn box.
That part.
You're not even the box, you're the paper.
Yes. You're the
To
book.
bounce off of what Tiffany said, Jane Elliott, in the words of Jane Elliott, America is not a melting pot. We are a salad. Each piece is important. Each piece has its own vibrant energy, and we're not trying to be all one. No, we're trying to appreciate a salad. We're trying to appreciate every single one of us. And so, in her words, bullshit.
I love that because it's so true of like, and I think that's the thing, people want to go colorblind or they want to act like race doesn't exist. And like the problem is that's where we're messing up. It does exist and we need to acknowledge it and we need to accept these differences in people because it's just the reality. It's how they were born in this world because people aren't comfortable about having that conversation. We have to talk about privileges. We have to talk about the racial differences. We have to talk about colorism. We have to have that inclusive conversation in order to move on and do better.
Well, just to bounce off what you're saying though, but that's like one side of the coin. The other side is like, we're so much better when we're ourselves. Like we're not, you know what I mean? Like, I think this country thrives in its diversity, you know? And so it's not just like, oh, we have to acknowledge it, but it's like, can we also acknowledge the benefits of being diverse?
Richard, I know that we discussed you being a Black man from South Central where you have the physicality of it, they look like it, but they're constantly putting you in a box when you're coming in, like pilot season. There's not many roles.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they already weaponized me because of the color of my skin. I'm a darker male, and then on top of that, I'm muscular. You know what I mean? I'm pretty built, and trust me, I've tried to slim down and lose weight just because I don't come off so intimidating. But it's like it's genetics. My dad, he doesn't work out. His arms are like 18 inches. I know some people are like, that's not a bad problem to have, but if it's a problem nonetheless, if you don't want to have it, you know. So yeah, I know I would walk into the rooms a lot more and I would try to come off just so people won't feel intimidated by me. I will smile constantly. You know, people will say, excuse me. I'm, oh yeah, you know, because I just don't want to be the angry big Black guy in the room, which a lot of people see me as. And I will understand the beginning, you know, starting off, you'll want to, you know, take those roles of the gangster, the drug dealer, you know, the abuser, you know, but at some point, you know, I had to be real with myself. And I am from South Central LA. And like I spoke with you on the phone, I said, you know, that wasn't my everyday. You know what I mean? I didn't wake up to just gunshots ringing out, and I didn't wake up to, you know, nobody in my family was drug addicts. You know, it wasn't just drama and strife my whole time. And I had to tell myself that I don't want to go for those roles, you know, because it's not a complete representation of, you know, my culture, of me, or the Black culture in general. You know, I think we're a lot more, like he said, we're a salad. To piggyback on the salad thing, Black culture, we're a salad, you know. And so for me, now I'm making more conscious effort to say no to those roles, and it's okay. You know, I don't want to make it about the money or just, oh, I need to get on. It's just like, no, I'm going to get the roles I know I can play and that, you know, I'm right for it, you know.
Blossom, how has that been being a trans woman? Because you know, there's limited roles for all of us. And as we trickle down, the roles become fewer and fewer, especially for trans women. And then you're a trans Black woman. So how has that been trying to navigate that space and, you know, not falling into the typecasting situations?
It has been very difficult. And it's so important that we do talk about intersectionality. You know, just me being Black, me being trans, me being a woman. It has been so difficult. I think the trans experience is still relatively a new thing to Hollywood, even though we have been here forever. You know, we've had trans actors who have been stealth forever, navigating through Hollywood, but all of a sudden now, you know, we're the new phase and everything. And, you know, I'm really glad that you brought this up because, you know, in the trans community, for us, it's like we're fighting for crumbs, okay? It's like Hollywood throws us these crumbs and we're having to fight each other for those crumbs. But a lot of times those roles are getting taken away to cis people. Cis people are having to come in and get a lot of trans roles. Just recently, Halle Berry was the latest one who attempted to do that. A project that she was working on got leaked that she was playing a trans man. And then all of a sudden there's this big uproar. Halle, you know better, you shouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. Halle, here goes Halle. I apologize you're right. I'm going to step down from the role. And then we clap that. We're reactive to that instead of being proactive. Halle Berry, I'm sorry, you're not going to tell me that somebody who is smart, beautiful, and intelligent as Halle Berry would dare take on that role, would dare take away the food from a trans actor's mouth. I think people do not realize how detrimental it is when a cis person does come in and try to take away a trans role, because number one, there's not a lot of roles that are made for us in Hollywood. A lot of people don't know how to write them. Yes, you have people like Janet Mock, who's wonderful. You have the cast of Pose, who all of them are such incredible actors. And, one or two of them really helped me on my journey. Angelica Ross was actually a mentor to me, actually. Now look at her. She's on American Horror Story and she's doing her thing. But the reality of it is we're in this time where we're still trying to create more of an abundance for trans people in Hollywood when it comes to that. And we're having to just really make our own stuff because no one will want to hear what we're wanting to put out there. They're not trying to hear it. How some of these roles kind of stereotype us. Yeah. And even with the trans community, playing prostitutes, playing, these drug whores and all of those different things. Like those are the roles that were offered to us. And the reality of it is, because again, that's food in our mouth, we'll take them and for us, it's actually, and I'm gonna tell you why we play those roles so well, because that's our reality. A lot of us have had to survive to be able to navigate in Hollywood. A lot of us have had to do sex work. A lot of us have had to survival sex work. We're having to, work these endless 8 to 5s or whatever you want to call it. Like, we're doing our thing. And so for us, we play those roles very well because we can actually put our whole life experience into it. And, the isms, I feel like we're in a new Jim Crow. I'll just say it. Because I don't think I talked about this. I'm actually from Mississippi. I was born and raised in the birthplace of blues, the Mississippi Delta. And, I'm only one generation removed from Jim Crow. My parents were born at the end of it, and my grandparents and great-grandparents actually lived it. And so I feel like even in Hollywood, when you just think about the history of Hollywood, when you have Hattie McDaniel and so many other actors where it was pretty separate but equal, I feel like with the trans experience, it's still pretty separate but equal. We don't want you over here, trying to apply for these cis roles and all of that over there, but we'll give you something. We'll give you your little thing over there. You do your little trans thing over here. That's pretty separate but equal. Mm-hmm. And when are we going to move away from that? Why is it I, as a trans person, cannot go for a cis role? Mm-hmm. If it really meant like that. And ironically, one of the projects that I'm working on right now, one of my dear friends who's a powerful queer Black woman actually offered me this role as like a cis person, which is really, really interesting though. And, and then in another, one of my web series that I'm in or whatever, her gender is actually a mystery. Like she's a woman, yes, but we don't know if she's trans or she's cis. And I kind of like it like that. Because it'll keep you guessing. And it's not so much about the gender identity. We have to move just past gender identity. You should see my work ethic. You should see my craft, my art, what I'm willing to put into a role. We've got to get to this place where we got to stop feeling like just because somebody shines that it dims your light. We got to begin to uplift, and we have to learn to be a better ally in this business for those of us that don't get a seat at the table.
Hey everyone, I'm at one of my favorite Black-owned coffee shops and markets, South LA Cafe. Come on, let's go check out what they have inside. South LA Cafe and Market is a coffee shop, grocery store, and community center located in the heart of South Central Los Angeles. The South LA Cafe's mission is to serve the community, fight racial and economic inequality, and provide equal access to fresh and healthy foods to those living in food deserts. The establishment was founded by local residents, husband and wife duo Joe and Celia Ward Wallace. For your grocery needs, they offer the South LA grocery boxes, which can be purchased for yourself or you can sponsor a community member in need.
So there you have it. If you're looking for a quick bite or something to quench your thirst, then South LA Cafe is the place for you. So come on down and support a Black business today.
And so for EJ, it's basically the same question, the same vein, but more specifically for you, I know that you being a Black, queer, dark-skinned gay man, how was that navigating? Because I know things that you've experienced with your managers and agents, if you wanted to kind of explain like it's not just casting, but just other aspects of the industry that puts you into a box.
Yeah, my journey was very, very strange because I allowed someone who was a gatekeeper in the industry, me being someone who just wants to win. When I first moved here, I had to, the whole thing, you get headshots. When you get your headshots, it's probably the most exciting day as an actor because you get to show all these different looks and you get to be the quirky guy with the glasses, you get to be the athletic guy, you get to be the guy around the block and stuff like that. So I was really excited. But my manager also told me about this other look he wanted me to do, and it was a slave. And it was around the time when Lupita was jumping off with what was it again?
12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave. And he's like, this is the hottest thing right now, like this is what they're casting right now, blah, blah, blah. And me being the person that just wants to win, I did it, not knowing what it would do to me. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that that would be a shackle on me, seeing that and me not being able to play a role that was me. The only time I've ever, till this day, got to audition for a role that was generally me was Moonlight. You know what I'm saying? And I had to audition for Thugs. I had to audition for this guy. And I always felt like, you know what? Yes, I can play those roles because I'm trained and I can do those things, but I'm also the valedictorian. I'm also this person. I'm also that person. Recently, I actually fired my manager in front of a crowd of like 300 people. And he actually emailed me and was like, hey, I heard you fired me and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I did, because there were some things that you did and said to me that I thought were strange and I brought up to you, and you kind of just like brushed it off, like as an older white gentleman would be. And when I see these roles, especially like these cis white gay guys taking the gay roles, it's I want to be happy because it's like, yes, it's a gay character on TV, but it's just like, but no, you guys are not getting it right. You're not getting it. You're not. There's people who actually have these stories that they live every single day, and it's time that they have a chance. It's time that they're amplified. And it makes me feel strange because it's just like, does Hollywood not see me as this thing? Am I not this thing? You know what I'm saying? Am I just this Black guy? Am I just that? So it's a constant battle mentally for me. It's a constant battle saying like, no, I'm in the right place. No, like, just keep fighting. A role will come up for you. A role will come up for you. So,
yeah, I mean, it's crazy because if we're all honest, if we think about it, like, it was only a few years ago that if you came out as queer as an actor, like, that was career suicide. But if you were cisgender heterosexual playing a queer character, then you was gonna get an Oscar for it.
An Oscar. And I started getting more comfortable with my sexuality coming in LA, because that's just what happens. You come here and everyone's free and everyone's holding hands, everyone's kissing. You're just like, oh yeah, I get it. It's great. And I started posting more like gender fluid pictures, and my manager would like literally text me and be like, take it down. You know what I'm saying? Take this down. Like, and I did it, I was just like, okay, this is the way I have to be. I can't come out in the industry. I can't do this thing. I have to be the straight guy. I have to have this image of this. I can't share the person I love, because it was just this constant battle of just finding my identity. And I'm glad that I'm kind of like, I have my reins on it and I'm not going to let it go.
Absolutely. Tono, you had something to add to that.
Well, I was just going to say, I know you made the implication, or you made the statement that like currently we're like only a few years ago it was career suicide. My question is, isn't it still? I mean, we're currently like, it's in vogue to be queer, but what happens when it's not? What happens when it's not? You know what I mean? We're currently in a political climate where there's a huge rise of anti-Semitism, a huge rise of anti-Blackness. Latinx people are literally in cages at the moment, and that's a large portion of the country, and they're huge viewers. So who's to stop these executives from saying, no, we're still going to hire these folk, you know? And I think that's a larger conversation that I'm having, like, because I feel you, I'm unapologetically queer on all my socials. I've always just been unapologetically myself because of how long I hated myself for not fitting into the cis het norm world, you know? And so I will never go back into a closet or pretend to do anything that I'm not. But it is legitimately a concern for me sometimes to think, will I ever get a chance to play a non-queer role? You know?
I honestly think that it's a game of chess and not checkers. It's like, at this moment, Black people have a chance, because obviously, you know, it's not to say it's a trend. It's not to say it's a trend, but we have a chance right now to make something happen. Yeah. So it's just like, you make it happen now so that when you get there, you can make those changes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but also just to piggyback on the idea of it being like the trend right now, what happens when you're somebody like me or Tiffany or kind of you, when we're like, we don't look what we are, and then like they're like, okay, well, you're not trendy enough to fit into that category, but like, you know, all for you, you will find a space for you later. You know, it still has a long way to go. I mean, yes, that's why we all are in this space, because we're looking to create the space to then reach back to do this for other people. But it still is not as far advanced or involved as everyone would like to admit. Or like everyone's going around, they're patting themselves on the back and saying, oh, well, we care and we do this and like this matters. But like, we have a really long way to go and we need to change that. And like arts has a beautiful opportunity of changing the political climate. So that means, yes, we have to rattle these fucking cages right now. I'm not going to apologize for using that word, because I'm really pissed about the fact that we have people in literal cages and treated so horribly, repetitively, or not being arrested for or held accountable for who and what they do. Like, it's time for the real freaking change, and it's scary still.
Absolutely.
It's still scary.
I think at some point we have to stop trendy. Like, I don't think whether someone's sexual orientation, someone's, you know, color,
it's not trendy.
That shouldn't be trendy. Like, we're people.
I agree.
All people should trend all the time. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's less about a trend and let's be who you are. Like, let's hold space for each person as a human, and like freedoms for anyone to discover who they want to be throughout time.
Exactly. And I feel like in television and film right now, you know, I had someone say something very ignorant. It's just like, you know, I'm so tired of putting the gay shit in front of our faces. Like, how many gay shows? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, how many straight shows? Straight shows. Like, how many? There's nothing but straight shows.
Doctor shows. How many police shows? How many?
You know, so I'm like, why?
Movies.
You know, I'm like, why at some point, you know, us as Black people have been denied a space. Like, why are we so inclined to like deny someone a space? You know what I mean?
That part. Because we've learned, because we've been conditioned to gatekeep. We have been conditioned to gatekeep because we think that what little bit we have will be taken away if we are helping other people. We've been conditioned to do that, which is
Black mentality.
And I want to go back to what you said, Sarah, because I was living for that. Let me tell you something. We have to, and going back to what you were saying about creative, see, sometimes you got to create those spaces to show Hollywood you about that life. Look at Ava DuVernay.
100%.
Look at all of these wonderful people who are having to create their own just to show Hollywood we're here. You have somebody like Shonda Rhimes. You have so many people who are having to use their privilege. Sometimes you gotta get into the doors of Hollywood and you gotta learn to flip it over. You gotta be a little strategic and learn to flip it over.
We literally are playing this game. As hard as we are, and we still have a long way to go. Like, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you're going to have to pace yourself and know that we're in this, not necessarily so that we can always reap the rewards. Of course, yes, we need to, so that we can prove it to other people. We need to own our space, hold our space, continue to show up harder than ever before, but not get tired. Absolutely. You're taking what you need to do for yourself too, to breathe and own your worth independently of all this entertainment world, all this political world. Like, come home to your honored self.
I think that's why it's important to have us in those positions, not just on camera, because most of us, that's where our experience is, but it's also important for us to be behind the scenes. and making sure, like, you know,
everywhere.
one of my
We need
things
to
that I
be
say all the
freaking
time
everywhere.
is we need to be everywhere. And, you know, like, not all skin folk is kinfolk. And it's like, we have to call those people out too, and like acknowledge that, like, just because we look the same, like, if you are a foot soldier to white supremacy, then we're not going to be able to go anywhere. And so that's why I'm just like, okay, like, you know, be the perfect, just look just like you. You're like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Say that.
Honey, it's like when people tell me like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for a black woman to be president. Any black woman would do. I'm like, Candace Owens is a black woman.
I was about to say,
No.
we don't pay her. We don't pay her.
Like,
we put her up for the delegation a long time ago.
I'm like, of course we're ready for a black woman, but which black woman? Not her.
Richard and Tono, you guys Tono works on a Latinx show, Vida, and then you work on Insecure. How's that, those experiences, starting with Richard, how has that been with having more like-minded people with you on stage, and like it's more of a colorful, diverse on all aspects, not just on camera, but just behind the scenes as well?
Issa, Yvonne, Penny, the whole cast and crew was just, I mean, so down to earth, man. And it felt good to, like, I could be myself. You know what I mean? I can be Richard Nevels. I can be the kid from South Central LA and not have to, you know, and I hold myself a certain way. And I just felt like it was embracing that. And I felt so good. And I remember coming home and telling my wife, like, this is probably like the best time that I've ever had on set. It was so chill, so laid back. I didn't feel like anyone was judging me. You know, it was a good, and not saying that can happen on a set that isn't predominantly black, but it was, I mean, one of the best times I've been on set, for sure.
That's great. And Tona, how was Vida?
Yeah, Vida was amazing. I mean, it was just absolutely gorgeous to be able to not feel the burden of being Latinx on one single character. Because like when we're the only person who's representing an entire race of people, any action that your character takes now just is a generalization for every person who looks like you. And so in our show, every character was Latinx. Even the white characters were Latinx.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Tanya Sriracha and the producers did a really wonderful job, from DPs to the writers to our PAs. They really made sure that everybody, if possible, was Latinx, so that the content could match the form. And it was just such a blast to be able to not code switch. You know, not pretend that you're something that you're not, and to crack jokes in multiple languages and to jump in between them. And like, for the once in my life, I didn't feel like othered in a space.
Well, I mean, what we're all talking about, it's so interesting because you look back at Hollywood from the beginning and white actors have been able to play everything. And part of the beauty of being an actor, and I think why we've all stepped into this, is because you do want to take on things that maybe aren't necessarily what you do in your everyday life. And I think that that's the part why Hollywood is a gray area, but also this such a powerful place for us to be able to speak up. But it's like, we need to have more conversations like this so people can talk about where it's like, you're not taking a job from somebody who should be offered that role first, but also being able to embrace a role. Because it's like, for me, I remember when I feel very lucky that the Harry and Meghan movie came up when it did, because I'm like, how many stories are there where it's, you know, really talking about a woman who is multiracial, biracial, and in the public eye. But even that, where it's like, you know, people on social media came at me and were like, she's not black. And I was like, well, my dad is black, but also as an actor, you didn't ever do that because it was like, you're acting. So there is this weird thing that I think we just need to keep talking about it, where it's, you want to be able to play a role that maybe you're not exactly in, a life experience that you haven't lived, but also being true to allowing those people who have experienced that to play those roles.
And then also, like, you look just like Meghan. So for anyone that was like, what? And we're gonna and lastly, Blossom, like, as like someone who is, you know, black and trans and who's a woman navigating this space, you got them strikes right there. Like, especially what do we need to do to support the trans community?
First of all, the energy on this panel is so abundant. I love energy, high vibrations. I feel it. Thank y'all for that. But yeah, one thing I would honestly say is speak up and don't be complicit. It's about really calling out the isms of what's going on. If you see something, you need to say something. If you don't, you are complicit and you have become part of the problem and not a part of the solution. Because let me tell you something, the TV show Pose was pitched 115 times. 115 times. FX decided to take a chance on it, and look what it is today. Season 3, top hit.
115.
Yes, Stephen
115
Canals.
times?
Yes, Stephen Canals talked about this, like pitched over 100 times to different networks, to everything. And so the reality of it is, we're too busy. We always focus on the glory, which is the cover of the book, and never open up the book to read the story and read the chapters. We never want to read the story. We never see. We're so.
That was a moment. Repeat that.
Oh yes, we're so focused on the cover of the book, which is the glory, that we won't open up the book to read the story.
Honey, I got stories for you. I love this.
Yes, we have all been guilty of that at one point or another in our life. I think it is really important that, again, when you don't see trans people in the room and when you see trans roles going out somewhere else, it is your responsibility as an accomplice, because I don't like to say the word ally, accomplice. Because in this business, we're all in it together, to say something and to do something.
Black is powerful, Black is excellent. Black is pain, Black is joy, Black is evident. Black is innocence, but that very Black is the evidence they use to discredit our words and form our sentences. Black is the world telling you a hindrance. Black is feeling guilty for your existence, simply because of what the color of your skin is. Scream equality, but your start ain't been our beginnings. I mean, how can they be when you made our bloodshed a business? No, it's harder to see when you purse upon all your privilege. You ain't looking like me, you on a safari when you hear this. Just remember that we still out here in all of these trenches. Black is preferring not to say on that application, because you realize you won't qualify because they racist. Black is them my niggas, because your labels cannot break us, and we want you to remember every single time we say it. Black is that special thing in the way we talk, yeah. Black is that slight lean up in our walk. Black is defending our thieves and all our thugs because we coming from the same, so we know what it is. Black is hard to thrive. You busy trying to survive. Black is being labeled a killer, but you the victim till they make you an assassin just to keep you in the system. If it ain't about a race, how come you got a head start? Centuries ahead telling us we got enough catch up. Oh, did I get ahead? Oh, then let me back up. Black ain't financially literate. Parents ain't learned the shit. You hustle, sacrifice, educate yourself. Yeah, you earn the shit, but even when you do, look up Black Wall Street, they burnt the shit. But Black is still believing not only we gonna rise above this shit. Black has got a sour fucking flavor, has a taste of it. But Black is all I know, there ain't a thing now with changing it.
What does that mean? I do not understand. Can you say it again? Bitch, damn me bonnets. We learned that when you were player hooked on phonics. Now you hooked on our vernacular, cause that shit is spectacular. Go to shaking up, sitting on top. Melanin the cherry, that is dark as fuck. Cause our juice is just rich, nigga. Always representing my pride. That's why I call my squad my niggas, yeah. That's why I only hear Mufasa when I say I'm that nigga. My niggas come from kings and queens, so never let them take you to your knees, on your feet. Let them see and admire the words of royalty. What does that mean? What does that mean? I do not understand. I don't get it. Can you say it again? Can you elaborate, please? Bitch, them me bonnets. We learned that when you were playing hooked on phonics. Now you hooked on our vernacular, cause that shit is spectacular. She like how I said slide. Come over insufficient. She said leave that for Bob. Her head told me she loved my soft. That ain't no simple nod. That's a headbanging, dress slapping, quick thumping, fucking Bob. I wanna ride the wave, but don't know what to do, right, dude. When we talk, I talk, it's easy to see you look confused. The swagger we bled for is hard for some you to compute. Sharing, we drip, you drip, just give credit where it's due. But even if you don't, we still tap into what is cool. Every damn day, just do what we were born to do. Ain't like this breaking news, cause we've been at the moves. use our channel, what you choose. Got the fuse straight out the womb with the flu. What we ooze, get your blues, get in the queue and pay your dues. Still everything that we do, black and blue, black and blue. What does that mean? I do not understand. Can you say it again? Bitch, that me bonnets, yeah. We learned that when you were playing hooked on phonics. Now you hooked on our vernacular. Look, cause that shit is spectacular.
Hey Amplify, my name is Tatiana and I am the CEO of Sticks Unlimited. Sticks Unlimited was originally founded by my late brother Ajani, aka Lemon, who passed in December 2019 at age 24. By then, he had become an entrepreneur and started designing his own clothes. This unisex collection features his original artwork designs. Ajani designed the logo for the brand, which means everyone, ensuring all people felt loved and included. Check us out at www.sticksunlimited.com.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Writing the Future panel. Today we're going to talk with writers working in the entertainment industry. We will discuss how they got their start, obstacles they've encountered along the way, as well as advice for new and emerging talent. Today I am joined by Academy Award-winning co-writer of the Spike Lee film BlacKkKlansman, David Rabinowitz, writer-director Nick Krice, writer-producer-director actor Philip Johnson, writer-producer-director Derek Hughes, and screenwriter and producer Sade Sellers. Hey everyone, I'm so excited for you all to share your wealth of knowledge and experience with us today. Yeah, so it's so interesting. All of you guys kind of have a different way of how you kind of like started, to emerge within this industry, which I think is important for our viewers and just people looking to get into entertainment industry as a whole, regardless of what position you're buying after, is that there's no one way to do this. There's no one way to go about, chasing and, going after your dreams. But, the reality is like, regardless of which way you go, there always are going to be some obstacles that you encounter along the way. So going to Sade Sellers, as a Black woman, what are some obstacles that you've kind of encountered along the way of trying to emerge in this industry?
I mean, like a lot of industries, not just the film industry, it's a boys' club for sure. And one of the biggest obstacles, especially for Black women, is that we're really not allowed to fail up. I always thought, I always have this conversation with my friends. When my movie came out, I thought, that's it. Like, I'm going to skyrocket. I'm going to take off now. Like, I did all the roadblocks they asked me to do. They said, you needed work. I did it. You need a manager. I got it. You need a movie. It was out. And then yet it's still not good enough. And even now, during this time when I'm trying to look for work, I keep getting like assistant position offerings. And I'm like, no, I actually I'm a writer and like, I deserve a little bit more than that. So as for Black women, it's just like, we're not allowed to fail up. It's just not an option for us. So you had a good movie, you got to make a better movie and a better movie. Like there's no room for you to kind of just like coast. And it's a little frustrating because, I don't name names, but you see some other people just kind of skate by you with not as much that you have done. And it's usually because they've got really great personalities that execs want to have beers with them. Like that's something that men get to have. Like if you like a dude, you get to, and you want to have a beer with that guy as an exec, like you'll move him up, you'll bring him nearby, you'll mentorship with him. But women don't really get that opportunity because it's either something sexual or the men are just afraid to be near us because they're afraid of getting accused of something sexual. So that's been the hardest part, is just finding like what other obstacle I need to jump over to get like my next opportunity.
And so Nick, you started in the industry kind of before we start to acknowledge like inclusivity, Me Too movement. Like explain what you've seen kind of being someone who's been able to benefit from the boys club and things that you've noticed that were like, this is not okay. Like, this is not normal, okay behavior.
We would need much more than an hour to get all that out. It's very interesting to hear these experiences because I benefited very directly from the environment of the boys club. And I kind of have up till now made a bit of a career out of being the guy that people want to have a beer with. When I was coming up, I didn't feel a sense that it was an uphill battle, if I'm just being totally honest. I felt like in part due to hubris and youth and my parents telling me I'm special for my whole life and coming up, in a privileged, wealthy family, I'm embarrassed to say, but I think part of this is about owning it, that I came into all this stuff expecting something, and I definitely felt owed something. Since then, I've had to evolve my thinking, obviously, and sort of now start to reconcile with how much of that state of mind that I've held that was absolutely part of a bigger problem. And now how do I sort of reconcile that in my own mind? At the same time, I like to believe I'm a good writer and a good filmmaker. I think that can also be true. And I can also say things like, I'm not sure I would have the opportunity I had if it wasn't for my specific situation. I was given high profile jobs right out of college, and I was able to walk into a situation where, talk about imposter syndrome, I was an imposter, and it was kind of my thing, and it worked. And I was able to make a movie without having done anything. And it's okay to admit that, it's okay to admit that, and still, because I want to be part of a constructive conversation to a better industry and a better world that creates better art. And I think by saying that, you're not taking away of anything else. But I think to not look at that in the face is irresponsible a bit. And now I marvel at it. I marvel at the fact that I was able to, up until this point, really ride that culture. And I'm making it myself sound worse than I am, but I'm just trying to be very honest about what I've seen, which is a culture that staggers itself so overwhelmingly in my favor that I truly have only felt like it's mine to lose. And that might be a wild thing to hear, but it's the truth.
We need to have these conversations. We need to have people like you saying, like, no, these people, you're gaslighting, a lot of these people into believing that there is nothing wrong when there is actually an issue and there is a benefit that I have. And if we don't start talking about it, we can't actually fix it.
Talk about failing upward. To me, that's the world I come from. All the people that I was supposed to admire were these heavily flawed, kind of like abusive guys. That's how we did it. We just kind of failed upwards, and we were hard to deal with because we were so cool and so important. And coming out of that way of thinking is like, wow, I really, through all my 20s was breathing my own exhaust for no reason. And it's kind of a fascinating thing to think about.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, it's kind of like we're all, entering this stage of just like awakening. Sade?
I just wanted to thank Nick for your transparency and your authenticity, because a lot of times as women, it does feel like, Ash was saying, we're gaslit. Like, maybe we're only acknowledging that this exists, and like, do men understand that this exists? And my favorite example to use is like, currently, you all look great, but like, everyone's in t-shirts and button downs, and the women are like with our hair and dresses on, because like, that's our conditioning as women, is that we have to look great. We can't wear t-shirts and buttons, or we may not be able to capture the intention of the people in the room. So I'm just humbled and so grateful that you said that out loud, because it makes me
No, it does. It's like, the truth does matter. And I don't think I don't think people understand the degree to like finally have like your suspicions confirmed. And you're like, oh my God, okay, cool. So I'm not like just making this up. And like, it feels great to have those feelings validated when you're constantly told that's not what the thing is. And so for Derek, you mentioned that you've had several jobs before you got into the entertainment industry.
It's a networking relationship business, and you have to put yourself out there. You have to meet people, especially if you don't have a hand out. There's someone that can bring you in you know, connect you with all the people, or you don't, you know, come from a certain family that has the financial means, because a lot of times that's, you know, the financial barrier is another, you know, barrier that you have to overcome. So I've always been a social butterfly. It's like, as my writing partner calls it, my mutant power. I have the ability to meet anybody at any time, any place, anywhere. Once I discovered, like, yeah, I want to become a writer, I want to really, you know, pursue this, then I just was like, okay, you have to really sort of educate yourself and just know how the game is played, right? Not just have the one night, you know, big success, because you'll see those people that have the flash in the pan, big movie, big success, and then all of a sudden a year later, like, what happened to them? Well, because they never followed through, because this town is all about what's next, right? Every one of us can account to having an amazing meeting, amazing, you know, opportunity, but then the next thing is always, well, what else you got? What's next? So you have to be prepared for that. You're going to get rejection after rejection. Again, you know, I go back to the whole thing. It took 8 years for my writing partner and I to break into television. 8 years of rejection. You have to be able to learn how to take those no's, take those L's, and then keep going. And also, that's the other thing. You got to work on your talent, on your craft. You can't just
yeah, well, that part.
You know, that's it. Because it's always, we all here again can attest to having imposter syndrome to begin with as writers. It's like any day now they're gonna figure out that I ain't supposed to be here. Any day now they're gonna kick me out. They're gonna kick me out of this club. You know. But you have to be able to push past that. It's like I've had more no's than I've had successes, but yet I've had a pretty successful career so far.
And so for David, I'd like to pivot to you, because you're kind of starting your career at this place where it's just like, we're recognizing the importance of inclusivity, and we're recognizing, you know, there's like disparities when it comes to certain people being able to go further. And one thing that I found that was really interesting was that, like, you make sure to emphasize how much of a collaborative process Black Klansman was, and that something that was important to you is, like, when you guys are putting together the story, you and your writing partner, authenticity.
Well, you said, you know, having those voices in the room, and that's what it's about. If you're conceiving something, writing something, putting something together, making something about someone or people from a certain perspective, you need to include people who have that perspective. And you have to include those people in a meaningful way, like not just, I don't know, it's one thing if somebody's a PA versus someone who is included as a writer or a producer or a director or an executive even. The key is people from that perspective need to be able to make key creative contributions to the finished product. Because we've seen it even recently where it's like, okay, the right type of person was not in that room when that thing was written or what that thing was put together. And everybody knows it. Hollywood is seen as this progressive place, and in some ways it is. A lot of progressive people are here. But more than anything, Hollywood is an industry. It's a business, and it worships money. And so from that perspective, Hollywood should be all about this. It should be about inclusiveness and not exclusiveness, because who are the people who are coming out to see these things, who are seeing movies, seeing television? Who is the audience? How do you increase that audience? You include people who accurately represent the country and not just the small amount of people, you know, that have traditionally been the ones who made these things. It's not about, you know, pushing people out of the room completely. It's just about letting more people in, you know? So for us, like, we completely recognized from the beginning, it's like, this is not our story to tell. This is Ron's story. It would be insane for us to work on this without him constantly on board. And then also, this has to go to a Black filmmaker. There's no other way to do this. In that process, not only did we have Ron, we had Spike, we had the benefit of obviously Jordan Peele, who was our producer. And then we also had Kevin, who's Spike's writing partner. We had the benefit of all of this. If it had been that type of thing that it was just from us, it would not have been good. You know, I'm a writer, we're all writers. I know how to write drama, but I don't know. if I was to write a movie about a lawyer, who am I to write a movie from the perspective of someone who practices law? It's a type of thing that it extends to anybody's experience, and it's not something that we should shy away from. It's something that we should talk about more. And I think people sometimes it becomes like an uncomfortable thing. It shouldn't be an uncomfortable thing. Or maybe it is uncomfortable, but like that's fine. We should just be talking about it more.
To piggyback off of David's comment about having the right people in the room, it's also important that you're not just using marginalized voices to just like pad your script and then moving on and leaving them behind. I love my mentor, Jeff Howard, who's reached out to me. He never read my work, but he just knew you're a Black woman, a screenwriter. I have this platform. I'm going to carry you with me. We're going to co-write something together. I'm going to put you in rooms. So I think that's important, especially in the name of allyship. It's not just about putting them in the room and then moving on. It's like where you go, take them with you, because we may not be behind you like you think we are. We may still be 10 steps behind you while you're advancing. So
I wanted to say there's the other side of that coin for what David was saying, is that yes, while you might not be able to, you might not say, who am I to be able to write a story about a lawyer, you'll be given that opportunity where a lot of BIPOCs won't be given unless it was a Black lawyer. Yeah. And so there needs to be an educational process that needs a shift that needs to happen within the Hollywood executive studio system as far as development and all that, where they don't just see a Black person come in or a person of color coming in and saying like, oh, well, you can write the person of color story, but I don't know if you can write about this white lawyer. We're never given that afforded that luxury of having, giving the benefit of the doubt in that way. For us, as I speak, and not as a monolith, but just in general, like for BIPOCs, most BIPOCs will say that we have grown up, we're accustomed to being able to put ourselves into worlds, into settings that don't necessarily reflect us, but we're able to still put ourselves in there. The same cannot be said of the inverse of that, right? Of like where, again, it's like time and again, you'll see white people saying like, I don't know if I like Black fantasy. Well, you like fantasy, right? So why wouldn't you like Black fantasy? It's still fantasy. It's still, it's still there. It's still universal truths to that. It's just that there needs to be an understanding that we're all writers first. We're all writers. We all can write these worlds, these characters. Yes, some have, writes much stronger than others in different areas and all that stuff. But again, I think that you have that, in order to level the playing field, that notion has to go away. So like in that conversation has to be said, but that is such a much more, a deeper conversation. And it's so in such a, deep rooted in there on a subconscious level, a lot of times where already the disqualifiers are happening the minute that you walk into a room. That deprogramming has to happen.
That's so well said, and that is this very specific angle that so many people aren't considering, which is that in order to be able to be given license to a story is not afforded to everybody, and it's frankly something. And what you just said it so well, Derek. I think that it's in order to truly make substantive change, what I'm not going to say better than Derek, what he just said has to happen on a very elementary level. And I don't know exactly how to do it, but that seems very much like the specific thing that needs to be addressed.
The Social Ripple Effect is a nonprofit organization based on the sociological philosophy that you can change the world by first starting with yourself, then within your own community. Through academics, action, and access, SRE strives to change the world one community at a time.
And so what I think is really interesting is that, Philip, you've kind of started in the industry and have benefited from being able to be a lot more self-sufficient, especially with things like, you know, the internet. You can kind of, you know, create your own content and your own projects and have it go right out directly to the audience.
Yeah, I've been very, very grateful for the internet as I've built my career, because one of the things, being a Black and LGBTQ writer and just in general filmmaker with acting and producing and everything else, one of the things that I already was very conscious of is that, you know, there's not necessarily a lot of Black LGBTQ productions out there, and not a lot of roles even available for people in our community. And a lot of the times, if there is, for example, a role that is a Black gay man, you know, a lot of the times they'll use straight people. So we kind of don't get included a lot of the time in the industry. So, you know what, the way that I want to enter this industry is just through creating my way in and having ownership and just getting to tell my stories and get to do that without the barriers of having someone, you know, give me the okay. Without even having the initial ownership, it's very easy to end up getting diluted out and to not really have the story shown on screen, because a lot of the people who are in my community, what I'll see them saying on social media, that there really isn't representation for us on screen. Because in terms of Black gay shows, back in, I believe, I forgot how long it was ago now, maybe 15 years, I think there was Noah's Ark. And, you know,
Yes.
I was a kid while that came out and was still in the closet. So, you know, I never got to benefit from that. So I've been grateful to get to now be in a position where I get to not only have fun and make things that I enjoy making, but because of the internet, share them with others and have other people who are in my community feel some hope and empowerment to be able to make things that they want to make. And, you know, we should have just as much of diversity of productions and creators as every other community. So I can't even imagine what it would have been like, you know, say 30 years ago, because, you know, if you want
10 years ago, young man, it was not that long ago. The YouTube is not that old. And I was just thinking the other day how wonderful it is that there is a platform for young creators like yourself and like myself to put their work online, because not 10 years ago when I moved to LA, that was not a thing.
I feel like Issa Rae really broke barriers with Awkward Black Girl, because that's one of the first times I can think of something kind of from YouTube and the internet, you know, then ending up going to TV and stuff like that. I really feel like she broke a lot of barriers for the future generations, but glad that now everybody is able to be more empowered, and I'm excited to see what that's
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do, you know, you guys as, you know, writers, like knowing that this is like the next generation of writers that are coming into the industry, a good chunk of them are going to be starting from the internet and, you know, from that world. Like, do you guys have any opinions on that?
Lucky bastards.
For me, the one thing I applaud about writers that are endemic to the internet, writers that come from the internet, is they seem to have a sense of authenticity right out the gate. And I think that's because the internet is very vigilant about not accepting inauthenticity, and it is truly like a medium of the people. And so I think the more, and I think a lot of what we're talking about has to do with authenticity. I know that David, you spoke to it well in saying that, you know, you want to make the most authentic expression of whatever you're trying to do. And in order to do that, you need to find the most authentic voices. And I think that's the way to cut through a lot of things, is that word is authentic. What is truly authentic to the story? And you can start and branch out from that thought.
And my whole thing is, if you see yourself reflected on screen in this industry, then you are more empowered to actually know that you can do the job. So Philip won't know this because you're very young, but everyone else in this panel will. When we wanted to watch a movie, we had to go to a store and we had to peruse through aisles, and maybe that movie was checked out, maybe it wasn't checked out, maybe it was available. And then trying to find a Black movie at a Blockbuster was like, there's maybe a little section and that's it.
There was the Black section.
There's the Black section.
There was the Black film section.
Or the barbershop.
Or the barbershop or the swap meets. You would go to a swap meet and buy DVDs. Yes, it was a thing. VHSs at that point. Sorry. So having the access for people to actually be inspired, because they can go on YouTube or they can go online Vimeo and see people that look like them reflected. Like that was the biggest thing for me when I saw a Halle Berry or a Gabrielle Union on a screen. I said, I can do that. They're doing that. And when I see Ava DuVernay making movies, I know I can do that. So those lucky little Gen Z bastards get to have all of that. I'm happy for them, but I'm sad as well. We missed all that.
And that kind of leads me into my next set of questions I have, is that we're all creatives and we love writing the stories. And like, you know, if in our world, if we can just be in little magical places and write our things and send them out and have that wonderfulness done, that we would do that. But this is still a business at the end of the day. Like, yes, you know, you may not have a traditional 9-to-5 desk job, but this is how you survive. This is how you make your money. This is a business, and there's a lot of money at stake in this industry. And so, Sade, I know that you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to understanding the business side of it. What is some advice or crucial points for new and emerging writers that you think that they need to know from the business point of view of this?
The biggest thing I always say for people entering their career is that 99% of the time, your writing is just to show that you can write, and it's not to be sold. And I think a lot of people jump into this business thing, I'm gonna sell my pilots and my movies and all this, and that is just not true. It is just, you're just writing to prove that you can actually do the job to get hired from a studio or a network who already has mountains of IP that they paid for, that they need someone to take the task to do it. So I just want everyone who's just starting the careers to just, it takes such a big weight off you too, if you're not just like, oh, I gotta sell. If you're just like, I'm writing to prove that I can get a job. Take that pressure off yourself, write what you wanna see on the screen, like write what you would like to watch, and then the people will find you. They'll go, oh, great, you write horror, or great, you write really good dramas. Well, we have this piece of IP, we have this idea, the showrunner has this idea, why don't you take it and run it with it? So that's my biggest piece of advice.
The word that comes to mind is voice. I think if you're starting out and struggling to think about what to write, which by the way doesn't stop. I'm today struggling with what to write, if anything at all. But I think focus on what can showcase your voice, and more specifically, what is distinct about your voice, and then don't think about any of that. So it's definitely a little bit about what David said too, is that rest assured, when you are in the economy of it, you will 9.9 out of 10 times be in some form of adaptation, whether it's some sort of IP or a pairing like Sade went through. That's very normal.
What advice do you guys have for writers looking to improve their skill set? Let's start with Derek, because I know you have some fantastic advice on this.
Right. Let's just right. The one thing that I pass on to anybody that always asks me this question, and this is something that was passed on to me by my mentor, was like, do these 3 things. It's like you start off with write every day. If you're not writing something, you're reading something. If you're not reading something, and it's like, those start with those 2. And the third and most important lesson of all in this industry, and everybody will agree with me, finish things.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, it should not take you 5 years to write a 120-page script. It's like, write that garbage draft, write that onion draft, whatever you want to call it, vomit draft, as we have my right part to call. You get the words out onto the page, and then you can do the rewrite. But you finished it. You finished that first draft. As Philip was, he can attest to, being in new media, which isn't new media now, it's just media. Let's just there's so many different ways. It's like I'm constantly amazed at the skill set that people have shown on TikTok of their editing and learning After Effects, and you're seeing like this next generation of filmmakers that are going to come out of that, right, in a talented way. But actually, you got to do more than those 50 seconds. You got to do more than those 7 minutes, as Quibi is discovering, right? It's just like, it's like storytelling is still storytelling. So as for a writer, write.
Women. It's been some shit real heavy on my mind this weekend because of some shit I've been going through. So I feel like I need to blow some cigar smoke your way too, so you can stand in vagina power. And if you ain't standing in it, this is one of the tips for you to start standing in it and really absorb this new concept for yourself if you don't already have it. You need to stop being a common bitch.
Your spouse is cheating anyway. I mean, really.
I know how to tell. If your man, if he goes to work all day long and then comes home smelling like a fresh bar of soap, something's up. I ain't got time to be sitting around all day guessing.
Relationships are supposed to be about trust.
Now, I'm an old school fool. I'm checking his bank statements, I'm checking his credit card statements, I'm checking his time card at work, and I'm comparing it to the hours that he said he was working, and it better match the money that he has coming home. I'm checking his cell phone bill. I'm checking the numbers that he was calling on his cell phone bill. I'm checking his mileage in the car. His resting heart rate is 42 beats a minute. If Marcus comes home to the house and he claimed he was at work all day, if that resting heartbeat is 58 beats a minute, he been cheating. If you don't, you'll be alone, and like a ghost, I'll be gone.
You need to stop being a common bitch, and you need to stop letting motherfuckers, male and female, young and old, of all goddamn races, no matter where the fuck you at on the planet at this moment. If you a female, you need to stop letting men treat you like a common bitch, a common she-dog that ain't shit. Like a piece of garbage, like a piece of trash on the fucking ground. That's not worthy of being honored and respected, and that you're not worthy of a motherfucker keeping his goddamn word to you. See, that's a common bitch.
Your busy body busy tonight. Mad. Joanna, making all the dummy tonight. Joanna, your busy body giving me life, oh, hey life, hey. Why you do me like Joanna? Joanna. Why you do me like Joanna? Joanna. How you gonna do me like Joanna? Joanna. Hey Joanna. Hey Joanna. Joanna. Ay. Hey. How you gonna play me like Drogba ho? How you gonna do me like Drogba ho? Oh, DJ Drogba ho. Hey, DJ Drogba ho. your busy body busy tonight. Joanna.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the My Beauty Matters panel discussion. Here we'll discuss the issues Black talent, hairstylists, and makeup artists experience trying to navigate the world of hair and makeup within the entertainment industry. We will talk to beauty expert and brand consultant Melissa Hibbert, actress Ty Brown, and natural hairstylist and educator Sania Sahar. The industry wanting and trying to be more open and diverse and inclusive when it comes to on-camera talent, and that they're looking for more natural looks, natural hair, but not necessarily providing us with the stylists behind the scenes that are capable of doing that, or beauty experts as well who are capable of matching our skin tones and making sure that we're protected, that they're styling us and taking care of us in that way. So for Melissa, I'd like to ask you, what do you believe is the cause for the lack of knowledge of beauty maintenance and Black skincare, Black hair care? Like, what do you think why are they lacking that knowledge?
I don't think it's a matter of lack. I just think it's a matter of choice. When we're staffing a production, for instance, right? Every slot that needs to be filled for talent. And when it comes down to understanding who's going to be on camera, oftentimes when you're filling that department, it should be a conscious choice that you're selecting individuals that can reflect and do the work that's going to amplify that talent's best look, best image, so they can perform the best. But oftentimes those decisions that are being made are being made by people who are much more interested in hiring people that they're used to, people that they've already been working with, they have a relationship with. I like this. I love it when they use the term, they want to work with people they're familiar, they're familiar with. But that familiarity leaves out a whole group of individuals that are extremely capable and extremely talented, but they don't have that level, that relationship. This is a relationship-based industry. So I think what happens is that there's they create this box that leaves out a large group of people who are fully capable, credentialed, experienced to do these jobs. And so it makes it difficult to then have the right talent. The other side too is that the actors and the actresses in front of the camera oftentimes don't necessarily feel empowered to ask for the kind of talent, that artists that they want, or the kind of team that they want to work with, right? Because they don't want to rock the boat, right? Especially if this is your new job, you're in this, you just want to do your work. You don't want to disrupt what's happening. You don't want to seem like you're the agitator. All those things that we may try to tell ourselves. But the truth is, you do have to speak up. The truth, because if you don't, then you end up being an actress that you have to worry about remembering lines and worrying about how your image looks on camera. That's a heavy burden to carry.
And Sania, I know you have a lot of clients that are actors and actresses in the industry. And what are some things that they've discussed with you of issues that they've had to deal with on set when it comes to having stylists that don't have the knowledge to kind of properly care for their hair?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I have two actors last season that came to me to have their hair styled for the show because the key stylist on set did not know how to achieve said style. So it became very difficult for both of them because they're mid-season, right? And they have to come to me to get the style done, and then they have to submit it, or they pay out of pocket and then wait to get reimbursed by the network. And it's really difficult. I had one actor out of Chicago who was flying back to LA every so often to have me, rebraid her hair. Because they just couldn't find someone union in Chicago to be able to do that. And it was really disheartening when she then approached the network and had her attorney, try and write me into the contract, and they still didn't approve it. And so it cost her additional, flights to come. And the same with another actor on an HBO show. She had to do the same thing. And it's really unfortunate. and like Melissa said, a lot of the hairstylists, and they've been working with these same people for so many years that they just don't want to rock the boat. But then also, I've had an actor tell me when she did mention, hey, my hair is silk pressed right now. It is pressed, but when you spray water on it, it's going to do something else. It's going to be an afro.
Yes.
The lady was like, I know what I'm doing. This is hairspray. Let me just do this. And she's like, but I'm telling you, that particular spray will. And guess what? When she went back on set, she had an afro. And the director was like, cut, what's happening? And so, you know, they looked at her as a difficult actor on set, but it wasn't her being difficult. It was her really trying to educate the stylist. And so I think that some stylists do have to say, you know what, I'm not well versed on this texture of hair. I might as well listen to the talent who knows her hair. But then there are some who, you know, won't say that they don't know because it's their job to know. And my take is, where does it start? It starts at cosmetology school, for one, because the states are mandating that hairstylists have a Cosmo license in order to be a union stylist. But you go to cosmetology school and there's a whole texture of hair that is excluded from the curriculum. And so stylists are entering the workforce without all of the knowledge. And then those of us who do know how to work with textured hair, we have to learn how to work on straight hair too. So we come in the door knowing all the textures. And so I think that while the Crown Act is amazing and we're getting states to make it illegal to discriminate against, you know, natural hair, I think we also need to get our governments to look at the cosmetology schools and what their curriculums are set at.
Trickles down from the idea of standard of beauty. If the standard of beauty is straight, lace, white, then that's what you're going to learn. And that's what I'm going to educate you. I'm going to educate you on the standard of beauty that we want you to uphold when you come into the industry. And that is completely problematic.
That, to me, that was you put that so eloquently, because that is exactly what it is. That is exactly what is happening. Is that your unconscious biases, your subconscious biases, your known biases are having an effect. Your implicit biases, you can't be bothered with it because it doesn't affect you personally. And so it's easy for you to dismiss it. And I think that's what the issue is. Ty, how's it been for you being on set as a Black actress with natural hair?
Well, for me, I'm pro being an advocate for yourself. Melissa touched on that a little bit earlier. Whenever I go onto a set, I make it very clear when I come on with my 2-strand twist that when this is untwisted, it's going to look like exactly how I showed up at my callback, at my pre-read. And I am always prepared with all my products, with my makeup, with everything. And that's not something that I feel like actors should have to do, but for Black actors, it's something that we need to do in order to make sure that our hairstyles and our makeup is consistent with continuity of on-camera work. So that's something I've always been very conscious of. And the thing is, you show up on set and there's that moment right when you go into the hair and makeup chair where you know that you're not the standard and that you become the otherness. And it's something that can be quite traumatic. And I feel it's something that many Black actors feel, because you don't know if production's going to have this moment where, like, we need to figure out what it is to do, even though this is the look that I've had this entire casting process, or if it's a situation where they feel like they're confused with what direction to take your hair. What should we do? Which is work that I feel like should have been prepared prior to getting on set. So I show up with the look that I've had the entire audition process. And even though that means I have to spend extra time the night before preparing my hair, that's something that I want to be able to do so that I can give 1-2 steps of all you have to do is untwist it, and this is how my hair is going to show up. Before a product is put in my hair, I ask about it, because not every hair product goes well with my hair texture. So I am always letting them know, like, hey, this is my hair and this is what I need. This is what I've prepared. What are the ideas? Let's have a conversation of what is the look that production wants and how we can achieve that together. And I just make sure that they know that there's not everything that they may use for the other co-stars may not be something that can be used on my hair. And I make that very vocal. And I know a lot of times as actors, you may feel like, you know, you are going to be seen as someone who has a problem or making a big deal. But the more people that speak out, the more that kind of like lie that you're told becomes something that you're not afraid of anymore, because you realize that advocating for yourself doesn't mean that you're an issue. You belong there. And I come in the room knowing that I deserve to be here just as anyone else. And if this just means that it's a different process, then that's a process that we need to learn together.
Absolutely. I think that's so true. Like, I've had the same issues going on set. You know, there was one time where it was a photo shoot and they needed to put my hair up into a bun, but like we were already on set. The woman, she didn't have the tools. She didn't have, you know, the product. They had nothing to prepare to put my hair into a bun, and it was a side profile shot. And I've actually only worked with one Black hairstylist before, where I showed up on set, I had my little plaits, and he was like, no, we're gonna fix this. And he washed, redid, curled. I've never had that treatment before in set. But what was interesting about that project, it was a project that was specifically Black for a Black network. And so the production company, there was a lot of Black people on the production staff who were adamant about it because they knew it was particular things that they needed. And like, even with the makeup department, there was a woman who, you know, she kind of felt away because she was white and they were apprehensive about hiring her at first. And she was complaining a bit. She's like, I can do the work. I don't understand why they don't think I can do the work. And it was kind of a thing of like, maybe you as an individual, you know, worked on Black skin and, you know, you have the skill set and you know what you're doing, but a lot of your counterparts do not. And it's obvious. 9 times out of 10, and if it's a Black actress or a Black actor, they're always going to be assigned to the senior makeup artist because they have to take responsibility if something goes wrong or if it doesn't work out, because you can't blame it on your staff. But it's like, why aren't you guys trained? And that's where the annoyance comes from, because I don't get a pay increase.
No, I was saying that, you know, the key makeup artist or the department head and the key stylist, key makeup artist are responsible for, you know, the number 1 on the call sheet or even the number 2 on the call sheet. So I'm in a position now where I'm consulting clients who are in the union, helping them to prepare their look so that they can then take that look to whoever that makeup artist is on set who are union. So I'm literally creating the plan that they now have to take into their production team, who is an individual that's getting paid very well, who holds a seat within the show, but they're union and I'm not. So that therein lies, you know, the challenge of like, again, there's not enough of us in union to be able to hold those spaces. Right. So we are then consulted outside, like Sania said, someone's flying in to see her, or they're coming in between on weekends in between filming. We need to fight also and they need to create more space for us to be in the union.
If you're a hair care enthusiast like myself, then you know the beauty supply store is the place to be. So let's go check out my favorite, Superstar Hair and Wigs. Superstar Hair and Wigs Beauty Supply has been a Black-owned staple in Studio City, California for over 10 years. They offer the best in beauty supply needs from head to toe, period. Owner and operator Tammy has cultivated an inviting atmosphere with amazing customer service and top-notch products. So go check out Superstar Hair and Wigs in person or online at superstarhairandwigs.com. It is truly the top destination for all of your beauty and hair care needs.
Yes. So can you kind of expand upon that, and like, you know, how the union works and getting into in getting into that union, and what barriers that particularly Black stylists face when trying to get into that area?
Well, the union is absolutely, obviously very coveted for a lot of reasons. There's consistent work, there's pension, and there's insurance, and there's a support system that's baked into being in the union, and it's it's sort of like being in a corporate space where you have a lot of elements that allow you that level of security that the freelance world does not afford you. But to get in, there's you need to have the number of days, 60 days consecutively for several years, and in order to achieve those 60 days, you actually have to have the amount of work that will allow you to accumulate the 60 days working on various shows that will allow you to, and production companies that will then calculate those times, and you can house those times or those days against your numbers so that they can accumulate. So you have to really uniquely be positioned on the kind of work that you do for them to even accumulate in the first place. So it's very challenging to get there, but you can, working on music videos or working on reality shows, or the fastest way is working on a film. But, if you're a mother like me and I have a young child, it's very difficult to go away 14-hour days for 6 weeks straight to go film a movie with, Ava DuVernay. That would be fantastic, but it's not my reality. But I know a lot of people who have been able to do that and get into the union faster by working on film. What I've noticed is there are a lot of amazing hair and makeup people in the union, but they've been there for decades.
Years. Long time.
For decades. So we need a whole new, fresh, young body of people coming in, but they don't make it easy for us to get there.
Absolutely. Felicia Leatherwood is a celebrity natural hairstylist, and she's based here in Los Angeles. For those that don't know her, she is very famous for styling Issa Rae's, coveted looks on Insecure. And basically anywhere you've seen Issa over the last couple of years, Felicia did her hair. And because she got really busy, of course, being on set, the requests were coming in a lot, especially around award season for Felicia. And so as her popularity rose, she said, hey, I'm not the only talented natural hairstylist in LA or in the country even. So she had a wonderful idea to create an agency. And so she's pulled, I think there's a total of 12 of us, hairstylists, makeup artists, and as well as some barber hairstylists. And so from Chicago, New York, Florida, Atlanta, and Los Angeles, we have a team. It's been 2 years now, texture management, and she's successfully gotten, I believe, 2 stylists in the union already in these 2 years. And that is her goal, is like you just said, Melissa, is helping to position us so that when the gates open, we are ready to go right in. She's kind of helping us understand what those loopholes are, because the terms to get in the union is like a moving target, right? So you get all the things that they say you need, and then you show up like, okay, I've got all my stuff. And they're like, oh, but yesterday we changed the rule to this, and now you need 500 more hours,
To me, I feel like the reason why we wanted to do this panel is because knowledge is power. And like, even discussing and talking with you, there were so many things that I'm learning, because it's just like, it comes down to, as Ty and I, from the actor perspective, I'm like, why can't you just hire somebody? Like, you knew what I looked like. You picked us from that. You've seen several pictures of us. You even said in the character description, natural. So even when you were writing and creating this, you knew what you were looking for. So why, when I show up on set, there's not people? But then from Sania and from Melissa, I'm like learning, like, actually there's all these roadblocks and all these barriers that they have to overcome to even get to you. Yeah. And because it wasn't designed for us to be here, it's that much harder for us to get there. Yeah. So Ty, we realized that you and Melissa actually worked on set together. How was that experience having a Black stylist, or because for me, like when I see, a Black stylist in the back, or whether it be hair, makeup, whatever, I'm like, okay, like I can there's a sigh of relief. I know everything is going to be okay.
Whenever I see someone who looks like me, the feeling that I get is relief, because more times than not, they are going to be familiar with my hair texture. And there's just certain things that extra work that I usually have to do, I feel like I don't have to do. And working with Melissa, we worked on a production that was majority Black. So we were all, as soon as we got there, I felt like it was just like light energy, like,
yes.
like just feeling like, okay, I can just do my job in this situation. I don't have to wear multiple hats. So something that we as actors can do is make requests. And, you know, obviously your request is going to be different if you're a day player and, you know, it's a co-star versus if you're a series regular. But I always do a request with asking a question. So before I go on set, asking, what is it that you guys need me to do to prepare for this role in terms of my hair, in terms of my makeup? Is there anything that I can help with, or will there be someone who's trained in natural hair? And just asking a question doesn't have to be a negative thing. And however someone takes that is, you know, that's not really my responsibility. My responsibility is to show up and to do my best work. And in order to do that, I need to make sure that there's security. So I feel like when you have those two entities put together, it's going to help move this movement a little quicker.
The other side of that as well is, you know, production oftentimes looks at us as magicians, right? So when they see us and they have 2 makeup artists and they have 20, you know, 20 actors and actresses, we still have the same amount of time to get them ready. And that is a tremendous amount of pressure because, you know, we want everyone to look great, but we don't have the extra time because it takes a little bit more time, you know, for us. It's not bad time, it's just more quality time. That time is not built in to the production schedule. So then now what I have to do is take away the pressure from them thinking that, you know, the actor or the actress is a problem because their hair, you know, may not, the time to do what we need to do for them is not built in. I have to take that off by expediting my work. So I take on that responsibility, expediting my work efficiently still, because they're still going to look bomb and look great.
Yes.
But I still have to, you know, take on that extra, you know, be cautious of looking at the clock and looking at knowing that the AD is going to come and, you know, how much time before they can get on camera. So it's all of those things about like giving us the sufficient time to do, you know, to take care of the talent, but you know, going back to the idea of them just stepping into the room and the representation, that should be the norm. They should never feel like, wow, you know, this is an exceptional moment here. You know, this should truly be the norm. And I that's a part of the reason why I want to continue to do my part in staffing and applying those, providing those opportunities so that we can see more of us. Production is certainly going to change as of now because of the world that we're in.
Nia, what are you doing right now to kind of combat the issues with the disparities for Black hairstylists within the industry personally?
So personally, I am starting an online course where I will help educate stylists who want this knowledge. So maybe they didn't live in Brooklyn, you know, where all the master natural hairstylists were. And also just creating some online, I'm pivoting my education business from you need to be in the room with me and you need to do a look and learn to thank you, you know, COVID quarantine, Zoom world.
Yeah.
Now I understand how important it is to create this database of natural hair curriculum that stylists and consumers can both come to be educated.
I feel like a lot of times through media, through work, through school, we're constantly being policed and told how we should be. And each individual has something to offer. The fact that you went through various amount of steps to get to that point. So I want you to feel like you belong there and to show up the way that you feel best. Is the best way that you can do that is being authentic with who you are. And I know that it's so difficult a lot of times to speak up because you feel like you're gonna be shunned and you're gonna be ostracized. If they're gonna think about you as other, they're going to have that feeling regardless. There's nothing that you can do about that. But what you can do, something that you do have control over, is how you want to show up in the world. And if that means that you're going to do so with your natural hair, then do that. Because the more actors that wear their hair natural, guess what? There's going to be more roles for natural actors.
Yes.
Those are the people that are going to exist. So it's going to be like, oh, this sells. We want this. You know, we've started every single trend. Okay.
Yes.
And you know,
that
that change with the natural hair. It's only the beginning.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not waiting for a seat at the table. I'm pulling up, all right, with the seat. And, you know, that means to me is that we know that, you know, Black women particularly spend a tremendous amount, billions of dollars on cosmetics and hair care every year. So we have tremendous buying power. But one of the things we also are still challenged with is the inclusiveness of color, inclusiveness of, you know, just the product offering with some of these larger brands that we're spending a lot of money with. This time frame where we're amplifying Black beauty and we're amplifying the work of Black entrepreneurs, and we're saying we're going to put our dollars behind Black owned brands because we, you know, that's where we want to shift our dollars. But, you know, we can't deny that there's still a lot of larger brands that are not Black owned that Black women still consume. So my job as an expert in this space and as a woman who sits in my brown skin, and with my expertise, I can now work with these brands to help them to define and shape from the ground up, from the research to the product development to the marketing to the execution, a more inclusive voice in how they select, market, and determine products for women of color. I've been able to secure a couple cosmetics clients already by launching my consulting firm. And so I have not, you know, this is certainly very new, but it was great for me to understand that they are very receptive to it. And that goes back to the ask. When we want to do something, we no longer have to wait for permission. We just give notice. I gave these brands notice that this is where we are. You no longer have the option to sit back and not and to not recognize that there is a problem. This is an opportunity, and I'm here to provide the solution.
It's yours. Whose world is this?
Hey, come on in. Welcome to the Salt Lounge.
Whose world is this? It's mine.
Here at the Salt Lounge, we wanted to create a space where you can come in, relax, recharge, unwind, and most importantly, just feel good.
We have a custom bath salt bar, so you can mix and match your own bath salts with essential oils, herbs, and a nice blessing to go along with it.
That smells just bomb.
We offer Reiki energy healing, Akashic readings, aura cleanse, chakra balancing. You can physically relax in our Himalayan salt room. We wanted to bring you items that are going to help you relax, help you recharge, and most importantly, help you feel good.
Say what?
Damn, Mizzy Mari got beats.
Most likely when I'm drinking, I'm just soaking up the process. Gotta get the people thinking, but stop thinking it's a contest. There's no fucking competition. We all in it to win it. Melanin don't mean we sin and take the blame. We still forgiving the murderers of our children. Ridicule the lives we live in. I'm African, that's a given. Guess that mean I'm made for prison or jail. Not married or even happy. I'm destined to be miserable cause my hair is thick and nappy. Fuck all that shit, just dap me on the black hand side. You know where you can find me, on the black man's side. Come on, let's vibe to the music that's inside. There's a universe within where your heart and your mind reside. This goes out to all the black folks using black soap, getting black spokes on their black cars, telling black jokes. Especially to all my black people getting harassed by them blue jokers cause they white neighbors thought they was selling dope. They thought they was selling dope. but you don't really want no smoke. You look surprising, hell and choke. Shove that privilege down your throat. You know it's murder that she wrote. Cause we smoke some, eat less. Go outside, grab your vest. They want us dead cause we the best. Don't hold a book, you might be next. Don't move too fast to take 2 steps. Try to grab life, but life's a wreck. They commit murder, receive a check. Jokes on us, you still on that neck. Working towards the future where the playing feels level. Clean yourself up, my nigga, don't go out looking disheveled. Pioneers are rebels, Fujila, Wyclef, no treble. There's one thing I'm here to tell you. I'm divine without no Nelia, so find your happy place. Y'all know they want us enraged, to deter us from the race, to keep us all caged. Just free your mind, why don't you take out that roof? Cause this reality we live in stem from white man's truths. It's all subjective, I said nothing is real. If only they live our lives and see how it feels.
Previously on X-Men.
Looks kinda weird and you will.
a special place for you.
consciously with me until we learn to love again. Oh, it's alright. It's alright. It's okay. 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 It's alright. It's okay.
We got London on the track.
I should've known better. Can't even pretend like I don't want it again. On the brain all the time. Thinking about the things that we did. You did something. But shit like this don't happen too often. It's the way you put it down. Although when no one else around. Got me taking a step on the wild side. Cutting all ties with them other guys. Where you look in my eyes. Loving me nice and slow. You make me wanna come through. Quarter up to 2 just to put it down on you. You make me wanna replay all of those things that you.
Hey, it's Shemaine, Los Angeles-based content creator and poet behind popular Instagram account Harper Nightingale. Please enjoy this sneak peek of Iowa. But you're forgetting that you have tasted the sun, and the rain will always be pouring. The grass will be green, the sky will be blue, the water will be clear just as you thought it would be. And that little glimpse of sunshine will remind you of why you began in the first place.